All right, yo, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing today? I'm really excited. We're back at it again with the white vans. Welcome to the B&E After Dark. Armani Graham from episode, oh my God, if I can remember, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Episode 6. And we got some pretty aggressive topics today, so I'm really excited to jump into it. If anyone doesn't know, the After Dark edition is where we can get really into the weeds. We get to jump into the madness of it all, get to really understand more about, current topics of what's going on, unfiltered, unhinged.
We're going to say what you're thinking, what you're scared to say. That's what we're going to talk about.
We got a few topics today. We're going to be diving into, I'm not in any specific order, right? But we're going to be diving into the election. Essentially the midterms that just came through, but obviously Trump, he just announced. That's a crazy topic to jump into. We're going to top it to some homosexuality. That's going to be really big. He talked a little bit about that during the speech. Sex and body count, rap in the black community. We actually a lot of black community topics, voting. We have some interesting perspectives we want to jump into. So get excited, get into it. And, obviously, this is live, so chime in. And please feel free to ask some questions. We got Sarah at the battle station, songs on the battle station, so she'll be able to get you through. So awesome. Let's do it. What's up, Mr. Armani Graham?
What's up, man?
All right, man. How's your week been? We had to skip last week, but how's it been in the last 2 weeks?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good.
I've been seeing you, man. You dude. I love your stuff.
I've been trying to drop content, bro. I've been trying to drop.
No, you've been putting in work. It was fun. I love the way. I don't know who's the gentleman who's been rocking with you most recently.
My little homie, Eric.
Yeah.
So I call my little big homie.
I like that guy.
Yeah.
Because especially with the one where you guys were standing in the doorstep.
Exactly.
And he was like,
bro, that was so funny.
That was good.
I
was so lit. I was like, I love it. So shout outs to Eric, man. It's always cool to see people support each other's craft, man.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. So let's get into it then. So what do you want to start with first, man? We have a few things we wanted to get into. I know abortion was a huge thing we didn't get to get into last time. So you want to jump into abortion? That first?
Because we left out on that last time. We didn't get a chance to get into it. So let's talk about that. Let's
go. So I'll tell you my position.
Let's go.
All right, run it. So I'm pro-choice.
Okay.
I lean in the 20 weeks. I'm in the 20-24 weeks. A lot of my positions come from a gentleman called Destiny.
Okay.
I kind of really understand his perspective from it.
Got it.
And so I'll just kind of leave it at that in a sense, right?
Okay.
Where do you lean?
So I'm pro-life.
Okay. Ooh.
I know, right? Everybody's like, oh, pro-life? Cutoff is? Yeah. All right. So
Sarah went with the black and white theme. I love it. Yo, deadass, that's so cool. We're on the moon, guys.
That looks nice.
That is deadass cream.
I like it. I'm pro-life because I think, obviously I'm a believer, and it doesn't matter how I feel. I need to try to follow the Bible as much as I can, and God is pro-life. But I also want to say this because I feel like a lot of Christians don't talk about this. I'm pro-life, and I'm against abortion, right? But it's a very sensitive topic, and I feel for a woman who was raped by somebody.
Okay.
And that's not talked about enough.
Huge.
So I'm pro-life, right? But I'm even more empathetic towards that situation and that woman.
So you're essentially saying that I'm pro-life, but
I don't like how the woman is forgotten and not talked about.
So
that's what I'm saying. So people who are pro-life just say pro-life. Abortion's wrong.
Right.
But there's two sides to it.
Right.
What if okay, use yourself. What if you were molested by somebody?
Huge.
By a random person in the parking lot? You're not going to want to keep that baby.
Yeah.
Be honest.
Yeah.
You're not.
Full
but
stop.
I'm still pro-life. But I'm saying this. I believe that woman who is attacked and molested needs to get in some counseling. I believe that people need to walk alongside her and help her through that trauma and hold her hand during that process. That's what I believe. So I don't ever want her to be forgotten about because somebody like me is pro-life. Because there's two sides to it. Even though I don't agree with the abortion, I hate the fact that she was molested. And honestly, God doesn't like the fact that she was molested either.
Facts.
So that's where I stand on the issue.
So let's start there then, because see, this is where I kind of get into the weeds, especially for those who are kind of pro-life, because I don't think you're pro-life. I think you're, and I'm going to be generalizing here, the kind of pro-lifers. So we're going to get into like you specifically. But in terms of the topic, I feel like most people are pro-birth, right? Like
you're right about that. You're absolutely right.
Like
especially with black people, they're black kids. You're pro-birth until the kid's born,
and then that's all you
forget about them.
Yeah, you got to. Yeah, so I think it's. I don't think it's a distance from the mother. I think it's a distance from like, hey, look, we don't want to kill or slaughter or anything, but obviously you have to step into the table to take and raise and develop that person all the way up until they're 18, if not if not longer.
Yes.
So like I just see that I don't think it's the government's position to jump into something.
Okay. I can see that perspective.
After a certain point. Because look, the way my perspective is that you have let's say you have I don't know, a grandpa or whatever, right?
Yeah.
That's laying on the table, brain dead, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, it's alive, right? You sitting there, it's connected. We can keep the body alive, but there's no brain activity. There's nothing going on, right? But at some point, you recognize that, like, well, this is no life for someone just to sit there and lay there on the table. Their hearts are beating.
I can see that.
Their person is not genuinely there. So
not active. They're just laying there.
So then, are you okay with this? Hey, okay, let's unplug it. Let's just like it is what it is, or just continually keep that alive for?
Ooh, that's tough. I've never thought about that. Somebody laying. I had a homie like that who passed away in 2011. He was I had a homie, and they ended up pulling the plug. Yeah, as far as for me, ooh, that's tough. But I would say honestly, I'm not gonna try to play God, and I'm not God. I believe God is in charge of life and death. So if that were me, I'd probably leave him there, because I don't want to get into playing God. And hey, pull the plug, and then they're gone. But I don't want that on my conscience, at least.
But you believe in medicine, and that's in a way that's like, you took an aspirin, you intervened, like in some way, shape, or form that you there's some sense of intervention that you think is okay.
Medicine is not the same as pulling the plug. What are you talking about?
If someone's CPR, laying there just drowned, you pull them out. Your kid, the God, hey, we can't intervene. God said, like, you don't know. You're gonna go and save that.
But you're bringing them back to life.
Yes, of course.
That's different. They're dying and they're underwater drowning, and you give them CPR to bring them back to life.
You're intervening on what God has essentially intended. There's a sense of and again, I think that, and again, for me, I believe you should save that. Yeah, you should save that life, right? Right. You should do everything possible to get that person to where they want to be, right? So that they can continue life and continue living.
Would you pull the plug on your wife?
So
right in the field.
Let me give you where I stand.
No, I want you to answer that.
No, wait. Okay, I'll answer. Okay, straight up. Okay, the same situation I just laid out earlier. Yep. Yeah, I would pull it. Okay. I would pull it because I don't want my wife to sit there I don't want her to live that life.
That's another perspective I didn't think about.
Yeah, okay. I don't want to. I just don't think that.
I see that.
I don't know about her dignity, but I think, and this is something I would love to go in deep with my wife to understand, like what type of, because that's where I think
she would want.
Yeah, I would see the will. Like, okay, look, where's the will at?
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
I just wanted to challenge you on that real quick.
I feel it. I respect it. But let me give you a perspective. So I had a cousin. Mm-hmm. His name was Lamar. He was like to put it to there's I cannot even express into words how much he meant to me. Like when, he was part of our family, and essentially my grandmother was big into adoption, so she would always take care of people, right? So Lamar ended up landing into his house, young cat, young dude, really super outgoing, very composed. To be honest with me, he reminds me a lot of you. Okay. And a sense of just like, he has sense of determination. He doesn't come from like the greatest background. He has a little, different side to him. Mm-hmm. But he taught me one of the funnest things is I stayed a night at my grandma's house because my parents were doing something. And they're like, yeah, you're gonna chill here. And Lamar was chilling there. He's like, hey man, you come inside. So okay, man. So he's a little older than me, like 3 years, 3 years older. And he's like, yeah, check this out. So he shows me Grand Theft Auto, and I'm like, GTA. The first time I ever had it. First time
Vice
ever.
City?
Yo, it was amazing, dude. This is the first time seeing people. I think it was Vice City or Grand Theft Auto like 3. It was definitely a little bit older.
It had to be 3 or Vice City.
Yeah, dude, it was amazing. So he was running over people, getting points. I was like, oh my god! I was like, this is crazy. Shooting people. I was like, this is the first time ever. But he made some sense from it. He's like, hey, look, this isn't real, right? You know what I'm saying? This is not a part of this world, and he's just kind of trying to mentor the mentality that I had. Like, this is a game, right?
It's a game.
You understand? You're playing the game, right? So don't get too attached to what's going on here.
Okay.
You just have fun. This is something that we can do and have fun. And it really made a sense to me. It's like, okay, like that's the first kind of sense of a young guy mentoring me. It's in that time. Long story short, we get much older, maybe 4 or 5 years later. And we distancing apart, and he's not living with my grandmother anymore. He's not back at home, and he gets this like bee sting or like a mosquito bite or something, but he has a huge reaction to it.
Okay.
And he starts begging his mom, like, "Hey, I don't feel well. Like, I don't feel good, right?" And he starts swelling up, and his mom's like, "You're fine. Just sleep it off, right?" And he's like, "Okay." Keeps getting worse, right? He can barely breathe. He's like coughing up fluid. And he's like, "Yo, mom, I don't feel good. Like, I want to go to the hospital." Like, "No, you're fine." And at some point, he goes unconscious. His mother, finds him and rushes him to the hospital. And he goes to the hospital, and he's laying there on the table, and they're telling him, because this is how hospitals have to do it, do you have insurance? And they're like, no. So, like, you're going to have to pay for him. She's like, I'm not paying. And she reaches down and pulls the plug.
No way.
And
was he brain dead?
No, he could barely breathe because because the fluid, and he just has to go run his system, and so he goes into shock, I believe, and
he passed away.
He passed away, yeah.
Okay, that's crazy though, man.
The reason I bring this up is because I think that like if I mean financial things is a big factor for people, right? To go and ruin for someone's life, right? But I have to ask myself, right? Do I rather that mother, right, to have him and live this life, or would I rather her be able to have the decision to be like, look, we're not doing it, right? Like I would rather Lamar, even the instance of me meeting him and obviously him changing my life in some sort of shape or form. I don't think that it would be. I just think that's that's a horrible life to live. I think that at some point you kind of have to just I'd rather give the mother the decision, the option to say, hey, look, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to go too far in. At some point I got to recognize that, like, I'm not responsible.
How long was he unconscious for? If you're talking about a day or something, then she's out of whack.
I don't know. I just listen. We were at a rave when I found out. I talked to one. I know it sounds crazy, but this was much older because I was like not even a year ago. And I'm talking to my friend. I'm talking to my one of my cousins, and we were just talking. I was like, "Hey, man," and he was like, "You remember Lamar?" I was like, "Yeah, I remember." Like, "Oh my God, yeah." And he was just like, "Yo, man, did you hear what happened?" I was like, "No, he got a bee sting, he got an infection. We didn't get it to him in time, and he passed away from it." He's like, "No. That's not what happened." I was like, "What do you mean that's not what happened?" And he explained to me what happened. And he's like, "Yeah, no, they pulled the plug on him." And I called my mom. I'm literally music blaring. I'll call my mom like, "What the fuck is going on? Like, how no one told me this, right?" But I'm just saying that, like, again, I bring this up because, like, you have these scenarios. So if you get to decide about what someone, if they live or die, and I think that it's a huge responsibility. But I do think the government should be involved. I'm not saying that they shouldn't. Mm-hmm. Because you just can't be like cutting off, these they look like babies, like, we embryos, I could say that, right? They look like they're humans, but they look like babies. But at some point in time, like, if they don't have a conscious mind anymore, if there's no thought there's no brain waves going on, I just don't think that is, I just don't think there's enough. I don't think there's a loss involved, right? I don't think there's like I don't think there's, and even if they don't feel. Because then we can get into the whole cattle thing, right? Like, you eat animals, and if you eat animals, it's the same, But I don't know. That's where my head is at. Yeah. 20 to 24 weeks. That's when they start getting a mind, and they start remembering things and understanding things, and that's what I think gives makes a baby. That's what makes humans human, right? Is the fact that we have a brain that can start learning music and getting to understand things, and I feel like until that point, the mother should have the option to be able to decide if they want to have a baby or not.
Yeah, I think just like what I stand on is, like, I knew you before you were formed in your mother's womb. And I know it sounds like cliche and basic, but I go off that. I don't think that babies should be murdered. And I don't think that they should be, as soon as they get out the womb, forgotten about, like what we talked about. So I think, like I said, I don't like how, my wife worked at a clinic in La Puente, convincing girls to keep their babies. And they convinced a lot of girls to keep their babies. and how they had so many different resources for them after they had the baby, and they did a great job at that. Girls who came from treacherous situations. So my wife walking through that, she was like, it was so impactful to work there and tell them that their kid mattered. And some of these kids are 3 and 4 years old now. But like I said, there's two sides to it. It's not just, oh, pro-life. It's pro-life, and that woman matters. I believe that woman needs to be hugged and comforted every day because of her situation. And I pray that she has a community of people around her who can love her and build her up because she was molested in the parking lot.
So what comes first?
What do you mean what comes first?
Do you create more resources for women to be able to have
resources, definitely.
Or do you block them to be able to have abortions?
No, I think more resources first. Because we're all going to go through stuff in life, but I think what gets people is what sends people down the wrong path is nobody was there to comfort them. So we're all going to go through stuff. What if everybody knew that when they went through stuff, they had a community of people waiting at the end of the door saying, hey, we got you. I think people would face their trauma more. But if you go through something and nobody's there and you have to face it all by yourself, that creates monsters. So I think people need a community around them. What if you knew that going in? You knew as a kid, no matter what I go through, there's people at the end of the tunnel who love me forever, and they're here. These same 5 people, this community is going to always build me up whenever I go through something. How would our brains change then?
You're right. All right, so let me ask you this then. You have I think there's 4 pillars to a society, right?
Okay.
You have government.
Okay.
You have the people.
Okay.
You have businesses, and you have church.
Yep.
And I think that that's the job of the church. I don't think government needs to be so involved into the life of the people.
Okay.
In some way, shape, or form, you have the separation between church and state, but you also have the government's job to protect life, liberty, and property.
Yep.
And so when does something become a life is a struggle because, a plan is a life. Like at the end of the day, government, it's of course you want to protect things, but at some rate or form, people should have the autonomy to kind of make the decisions that's best suited for them. Mm-hmm. For someone else to make a decision for you is really dangerous. Now, letting the states decide that, sure, I think that's fine. But I think that one thing that
people make decisions for you all the time. You stop at a stop sign.
Sure, but I think that there's.
What do you mean? Sure, you do.
I do, but
you stop at a red light. The government made that decision.
I'm not denying.
You don't get in the carpool lane without somebody in the car most of the time. I told you I do. I don't care. But so you let them make decisions for you all the time.
Not let. I think that there's a choice.
No, you do let them.
Hold on.
Because you listen to them. You pay your taxes.
So I don't know. Do you know a social contract?
If we are from New York, what are we talking about here? What are we talking about, man?
No, look. So you don't have you living. It depends where you live, right? That's a big avenue here. Like, where do you freaking live?
I can agree with that.
In this land, you have these. We have different states that have different rules and regulations and how you choose to, what's going on with your life, right? Mm-hmm. But federally, it's different from the state, right? Like, because the state choosing, hey, look, this is what I can do. All right, that's the people. I move to a different state. If I don't like California, I move to a different state.
Yeah, like a lot of people from Cali move to Texas.
But federally, it's a big different thing, right? Federally mandating something, actions, whatever the case may be, is a whole different animal because there's no escape unless you want to go and transplant to a whole different area. But brings me back to what I was saying earlier. Money is such a big resource that the mother of a son pulled the plug on him because of just finances alone. Like, it's just, you have these resources that are not being given or they're not really known about, and all these taxes and stuff are taken from people.
But I'll be honest, I think when we abort babies, I think we get judged. I think God judges us. I'm talking about America.
I give you fact. I will.
I think we are judged when we murder babies.
I agree with that.
And that's a whole nother topic. But I think God judges us when we do that.
I agree with that.
And I'm not talking about God can judge me. I'm talking about specific things happen in our country, and it's a judgment because we're not taking care of this area right here. I think God does that.
God judges the country?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think when we abort over millions of babies, I think there's a judgment from God. That's what I believe. I think there's a judgment when you do certain things. Just how the Bible talks about homosexuality. And you'll pay the cost. You'll pay the penalty. And some scholars revert that to AIDS.
Okay. Then I have to push back here, dude.
Go ahead.
Like, the separation between church and state. You can't. You just. There's right and wrongs, right? But to go and say, hey, look, you're not allowed to do this.
Yeah.
Like, it's just. And someone else obviously telling you can't do something. It's rough. It's really, really rough. It's rough to kind of see.
Okay, so I'll give you an example then. You're saying it's rough when somebody tells you can't do something, right? My mom had to use the bathroom, and my dad was standing in front of the bathroom, and a transgender tried to walk in while my mom used the bathroom. My dad said, you're not going in there. Why? He said, you're not going in there because my wife is in there. So my dad was telling him essentially, you're not doing that. So I'm saying what you're saying. He didn't feel comfortable with my mother, his wife, in the bathroom with a dude.
Okay, so you think so?
But the guy is like, oh, but I want to go in. No, you're not going in there with my wife.
I agree. I don't think that's. I don't think. I don't.
If you had a daughter and you were waiting outside to use the bathroom and your wife wasn't there, and a transgender person walked into that bathroom, would you be comfortable?
So are you?
No. Yes or no? Come on, we're talking about hot topics. Yes or no?
No, I would not feel.
Okay, then.
I'm not. I don't agree with this though. I don't agree with this heavy.
But you wouldn't feel comfortable if your baby girl was in there.
I mean, but again, that's where we come to like the separation between church and state. Mm-hmm. That's nothing that has to do with church though. Mm-hmm. That's just about genetics and gender. Like homosexuality and gender is a whole different animal here. Okay, gay rights and stuff. All right, let people get married. Let people gay rights. Let them do what they're gonna do. God's gonna make the judgment. It's not my job to do. Right. But when you talking about like gender, that's a little bit different because now you're talking about people saying that there's something but they're not. And not the fact that...
Do you believe there's more than two genders?
No. No, there's
so
only
you
two
believe
genders.
You believe you're a man or a woman?
Yes.
Not non-binary?
No.
Or any of that stuff?
No.
Why?
Because there's a man and a woman. That's the way it's been all of time, right? Yeah. Now, let me. Okay, yeah. I believe that men, right, can want to be women, right? Right. You're a man who wants to be a woman.
Yeah.
I believe that a baby coming out, right, and you're let's say you're have the genes of a man, but you have the genitals of sometimes these get mixed up. Yeah. I think there's actual trans people, right? Hey,
about born with two parts.
Yeah, because that happens.
It's funny. That's a subject I think about, but I don't know too much about it. Honestly. So I thought about that. Though.
The thing is, what's going on, and this is really tough. And I listen. I don't have much of a say in this world because I'm not from it. But the tough part is that the lesbian and gay community, right? That was what the fight was for, right? So, right, and then it became kind of like the lesbian, gay, and trans was kind of adopted into that world. And they're like, you know what? I don't know. That feels less about who do I love and more about who do I want to kind of be per se, like what way I want people to perceive me. And so from what I was told and for what it looks like to me is that at that point when that kind of the lesbian, gay, trans, and then the kind of the rest of this started coming where you have asexuals and you have pansexuals and you have you have all these type of individuals and the way they see they want to be a part of a group. There's no real group or place they can go, so they kind of just attach themselves to the lesbian and gay community. But a lot of these lesbian gay community are thinking like, yo, this is getting out of control, right?
Yep.
Like I know that I'm a man, but I know I like men, right? In a way, right? I'm not a man, but you know what I'm saying? Like, so if I'm a man who likes another man, right? I know that I'm supposed to go to the man's bathroom, right? If I'm a man who wants to be a woman, I know that I'm a man who wants to be a woman, and I understand that there's something wrong here. Like I understand that I'm a man, but for someone to say that like I'm a man and you need to treat me like a woman, I am a woman, right? But like no, but you're a man. No, I'm a woman. It's like okay, but you're not. You're a man. It's really tough for people to be able to really get the grasp and understand what that feels like to be able to say, okay, I'm in this lane. I don't think they should be abused. I don't think they should be, I don't think anything like that should happen, but I just think
I have a question for you. Yeah, because I've lived with roommates who struggle with their sexuality, and I've heard tons of stories, and I find mostly one common denominator between them. Something happened, and that changed them. So I'll give you an example. There's a story that I heard literally about 2 weeks ago.
Mm.
The student told his professor, he knew she was a Christian. He said, I don't want to be gay. I didn't want to be like this. He said, my mom lost their daughter, so his older sister, like she passed away. And then she had me, and she made me play with Barbie dolls. She made me wear girl clothes. He said, but I don't want to be this way. My mom made me do this for years. He said, and it changed my thinking. But he said, I don't want to be this way. I think there's a real struggle inside that when people who struggle with their sexuality, when they go home at night, there's no peace. But I think a situation happened to them and it changed their thinking. I had a roommate who cross-dressed and something happened to him and that changed his thinking. Most of the time, at least from the people that I've talked to about this, they've been molested or raped. I heard of another story one time. My big cousin, his church is right down the street from here. He asked the dude, hey, why do you cross-dress? He said, my dad does it and my grandpa does it. It's all I know. So I think situations happen, and I think demons attach to you, and it changes your sexuality. That's what I've noticed when I talk to people who struggle with their sexuality. They've been molested or raped by a man or by a woman, and then it changes their thinking.
So you think it's more of a mental health thing?
Yep, and watch this. This will blow your mind. My dad preached a message on the food that we eat from now versus the food we ate from the 1950s and why a lot of people struggle with their sexuality. So there's something in the mother's womb that if the mom doesn't eat right, if you come out a woman, right? Say you have a girl in your womb, and if you eat wrong McDonald's every day, the baby will be sprayed with, I think it's at week 4 or 5, the baby will be sprayed with more testosterone, when the baby should be getting 80% estrogen and 20% testosterone. Same for a guy. If the woman is pregnant and has a boy, if you eat wrong, the boy could be accidentally sprayed with 80% estrogen and 20% testosterone when it should be the opposite, which causes kids to come out and struggle with their sexuality. My dad did the research on this, dude. It is deep.
I think it's accurate. I think
deep, bro.
I think a lot happens, especially when the early development of a child, especially for a woman and what they consume and what they do. You know, abnormalities is true. I remember one of my friends smoked weed during her pregnancy, and that changed the dynamic that since she had an early birth.
Wow.
Because of the because chemicals are going to hit,
Yeah.
And yes, it's kind of the earth, and the earth is, but the thing that happens is that, like, again, it's kind of that intervention aspect, right? Like you're changing the chemicals of something as they're growing. I
want to tell you one more story too.
No, shoot.
I had a boy, I'm not going to say his name. He's very successful. I did Bible studies my first year in college with him, and I knew he was gay, right? I can just tell by how he carried himself. But when he hung around me and when he came to my Bible studies, he was less flamboyant. That's a fact. I'm talking over the course of 1 year. He hung around me and not just trying to act like a man, but he became more manly once we really started going through and studying the Bible. I'm not exaggerating. And he was less flamboyant over time, over the course of about a year, and he became more manly. So I think something happened. Like, people can say what they want about the Bible, but him reading that changed him inside. And then he stopped, and guess what? Flamboyant came right back.
I think I agree. I think, though, that I
that's all I'm saying. That's what I experienced. I saw him go from like this, to he started carrying himself like a man. He carried himself like a man. So that's why I believe that it really is a demonic attack. I believe the devil has 50 million demons who all have specific jobs that do something. That's what I believe.
So then I'm gonna put some logic to it.
Go ahead.
I think that that's not untrue. I just think that you have to really think about like is this an actual attempt of the devil trying to attack people?
Well, yeah, that's his only job. What is his job?
Or is it more that it's a systematic algorithm that's pushing what people want to see? If I'm someone and I'm a kid, right, and my mom wakes me up and says, oh, man, we got to go to school, and I don't want to go to school, I don't want to do anything, right? But I'm like, I'm busy, I got things to do. Yeah. Here's a tablet. Go on YouTube. I got to go handle something. So the kid's on YouTube, and he's like, well, I want to watch this. And so the algorithm is taking him to these dark, you know what I'm talking about, dark webs and stuff. And then he finds something like, oh, I can connect with that. And then he keeps liking it, keeps going down this tunnel of gay this and gay that. Oh, I like this show. I like this thing. And, gives sense a different perspective for people, right? So what I think that it's happening is that
I think it's
people
both.
are able to connect with the things that they want to see.
Yep.
Kids are able to, at a young age, adapt to things as they want to see it.
Yeah.
And the more and more the communities of anything comes out, right? If I'm a person, I have a guy I just messaged today, a gentleman I was trying to get on the podcast. He's really into horror. He wears like bloody, like just absolutely like acts and stuff. But all his pictures on Facebook are just bloody and just all, right? But it's really cool. It's like interesting. This gentleman, how did you become this person, right?
Yeah.
But he found his community. If you look, none of the people live next to him. None of his neighbors do this. But he can find hundreds of thousands of people who like what he likes, and he can go down that tunnel and feel like he's accepted and he finds his community. I think that's what's happening. Kids are in a traumatic state, and they just want to find their community.
But watch this. You can't have good without evil, right? You have good days, you have bad days.
True.
So there's a lot of good in the world. Vice versa means there's a lot of evil in the world. So you can't say there's a lot of good going on without there being evil, which means there has to be a God and there has to be a devil. And if there is a devil, the devil has a job. Okay, I have an idea. Who made this iPhone?
Steve Jobs.
Okay, who made this chair?
Wayfair.
Who made the camera that we're on live right now?
Sony.
Who made you?
My mom, my dad.
No. Who made you?
You're talking about the actual OG. Okay, Google. I mean,
No.
Okay.
Who made you? Your great grandpappy. Who made your great grandpappy?
God.
Okay. So with that being said, everything has a creator, right? The iPhone didn't pop up out of nowhere, which means if there is a God, that means there has to be an opposite, which is the devil. And if the devil is real, why wouldn't the devil be strategic and try to bring communities down and break people apart and just tell them the opposite? And have demons who have specific jobs that attack people that do specific things. So if you lie, why not have a lying demon that attaches to you? If you struggle with pornography and you watch it all day, every day, why not have a perverse spirit that can attach to you? If you're chronically sick, I'm not talking about a cold, but you have cancer that keeps coming back continuously after you've been through chemotherapy, why not have a spirit of infirmity jump on you? That's all I'm saying.
I'm not saying that.
The devil's not just sitting. I'm pretty sure he has a team that attacks people, and these demons do specific jobs.
I'm not dissing that. I'm not dissing that. I'm just saying that, like, I just think that it's, it's not. I don't think it's as. I'm not saying that that's not wrong in some circumstances, but I just don't think it's that deep in most. I just don't think it's that intense in most circumstances of why these things are happening. I think that it's just people are wanting to find what they want to see, and as people find what they want to see, they get sucked. It's like you are who you surround yourself with. It's a full stop.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. If you surround yourself with people who sin, right, then you'll become a sinner. Just the more and more and adopt into the sinner life, and you will go and it'll be harder and harder to dig yourself out. I think that's just now. If it's the work of the devil, I don't think that's something to contest. But I don't think it's that it's as a out of I don't want to say out of control, but yeah, I want to say that theological, like, hey, this is why things are happening to people. I think it's just small decisions that your people are making with the people that they're surrounding themselves with. If you choose the right people around you,
I think it's a combination of things.
I think that may be fair.
But at least what I noticed, my roommates who struggle with their sexuality, and we were really cool. Like, we were homies. I'm not gonna say his name, but like I said, I see him go from being a straight hood black dude to wearing a wig, and in that process, he wasn't happy. No cap. And then the next year, I had another roommate who struggled with his sexuality. So people can say all they want, but I've lived with them firsthand, and they weren't happy at all transitioning. I think it's cap. Big cap when people are like, I'm happy that I'm trans. I don't believe it because I live with them. These are two different people. I've been around them, and they're not happy with that because I think there's a void inside of them because I think inside, say you're a man, but you want to get a sex change, right? Or you're a woman and vice versa. I think your soul is struggling because you're a boy, and then you're changing yourself, your body, wanting to be a girl. And I think there's a pull and a struggle inside. That's what I noticed with my roommates. There was a literal pull because they're a boy, and he's trying to dress and be a woman. And I saw that struggle day in and day out with him. I can see it on his face. Like he didn't want to put on the wig. but he was putting on the wig, and there wasn't any real happiness.
Like I said, I think there's some truth to it. In every circumstance, I don't know. I don't think that every single person out there is like, hey, I don't want to do this, but I think a majority are. I think it is a mental health issue. I agree. I think a lot of things that people do are a struggle as a mental health issue. But you said something earlier, which I'm gonna just push on it just a little bit. We broke our cameras. Everybody, listen. We sorry. We in black and white thing right now. I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
Okay, because someone asked me a question. I think this is really interesting. We're getting really into the deepness, so I don't know if you want to go this deep, but
Come on, man. You know me by now.
It's like I'm gonna go off the cliff here. Okay. So one of the questions that I used to ask people a lot, because I one of the things is that we are made in God's image, right? But we are not God.
Yep.
Okay. So what makes things difficult is that you talk to people and people want to make moves as if they are God, right? But that's the goal, right? To be as close to God as possible. By doing so, I think that's moving in silence. That's what I think it is.
Okay.
Right? Being close to silence as possible, because that being in a place of silence gives you a good understanding of like what it feels like to be God. Right?
Okay.
God
So
doesn't really
question?
talk to you. Okay. The question I have is that if you had, I have two questions. First question is, if you could get God advice, what would it be?
Oh. If I can give God advice, how come you won't just make me rich? I'm being honest, so that I can open up my group home and help kids.
Facts.
And give them a place to live, because homelessness in, I think, LA County can fill Dodger Stadium 5 times for homeless youth. I'll give you a real example.
Run it.
I didn't come here last Thursday because me and my brother drove to Bakersfield to work and dig for gold. Because I had some random dream that I found gold between 2 trees, and this bunny was right next to it. And it was at Lake Isabella. So I drove there and I didn't find anything. And I looked up to heaven and said, God, why didn't you let me find this gold? I could have opened up your group home immediately, and kids' lives would have been impacted. My wife would have been their marriage and family therapist. They can live in my home and work through their trauma. So I would ask God, how come you didn't let me find that gold?
So then my next question to you is...
And God's response will be, because I need you to build more character, probably.
Hey, you got to open the right doors here, man.
But yeah.
Well, then my next question to you is that you said, where do I come from? I fucking 100% agree with you. I came from God. And so you said everything comes
everything has a creator.
Okay, then
everything.
Where did God come from?
That's deep.
That's the ultimate question I have not yet to answer.
Oh, yeah. And that's the thing. So I'll answer it for you. And I'm not going to act like it's not hard for me to understand, because it is.
Sure.
God created time for humans. God is outside of time, which means nobody created him, because we're all born at a time. And that is the short answer. But I think if you wrestle with that, where did he come from? Then it's just going to throw off your thinking. But I've thought about that too. Like, where did God come from? But he didn't come from anywhere. He's been there. He created time for us.
See, so I agree with you here, because I think time is definitely outside of the realm. But I think it's less about trying to answer where God comes from, and more about how do you struggle with the fact that God is
invisible?
No. What's the more probable that there is or isn't a God? And I think the more probable that there is.
Yeah.
It's just there's so much unexplained that you think there has to. Yeah. There's just everything.
How many 1 billion sperm cells and one sperm cell makes it?
Yeah. Just
like, come on, that's not out of nowhere. Somebody had to create that.
So just the atoms opening up, and then there's one living cell that just so happened to land on a rock, and that rock just somehow transformed to like a shark and a dinosaur and some plants. And I mean, it's just so probable. It's just the probability of it, and they're already finding other life in other places. Like that looked easy. Like there's so much possibilities for it to happen. I just don't think it's probable. But I think again, I still push this, right? Because if I'm a painter and I'm painting something, I'm painting these paintings up here, right? I know that I can explain where the paintings come from, right? Because I'm the painter, I'm the god of the painting, right? But I also can explain where the painter came from, right? The painter came from somewhere, right? So I think that there is a question of just like, where did God come from?
So watch this. I'll push back on that. Here's what I always tell people who bring this up. Okay, you can live your life like God doesn't exist, and you can wrestle with that question up until your deathbed. And then you die. What happens if he is real and you didn't live like it? Right. Or you go like this. You live like a believer and a Christian, and you know the Bible talks about heaven or hell, and then you die, and then he isn't real. But even though I know he is, then you've lived that good life. That's the question. Why play with your life when you can live like he is real? Or you live like he's not real, and then you die and he is real. Then you're screwed. And that's the question everybody will have to wrestle with. Your life will make much more sense if you live like he is real. Why take that gamble? Or, all right, I'm going to pass away. I don't know what happens next. What? Why gamble on that?
I think, okay, I'm going to play devil's advocate then.
Let's go.
Oh, God, I'm on the side of the devil, Jesus. All right, listen. If you want to live life, why live so frightful of the future? Instead, live for the moment. Live for the now. There's so much happiness that could be found on the day to day. There's so many people who have anxiety for the future, who have depression about their past. And it's just so much more humbling to kind of like take the opposite approach. You have the first side of things, leave it up to God. That's the goal, right? Leave it up to God. God's going to work it out. But you also have the other side itself. It's like, look, just focus on the moment. You know, don't focus so much on the future. Yeah. Enjoy the moment, enjoy this time. Where does it come the balance for you of someone being able to enjoy life, but also be able to make sure that they live within God's reasoning? Because there's hundreds of religions out there.
So here's the thing. I think a lot of people won't say this. The reality is people act like God tells you to do crazy stuff. He doesn't. He says, love your neighbor like you love yourself. Can we all agree we should be kind to people?
Facts.
Okay.
I agree.
Let's do something else. Confess your sins in front of one another so you may be healed. Confess the trauma you've been through or bad situations you've been a part of in front of a group of people so you can have healing in your heart. Is that so bad?
No.
So some of the stuff he says, people act like he's saying something crazy. He's saying, don't go to bed angry. Fix the problem between you and your spouse. Is that wrong? No. Should you fix the problem between you and your spouse before going to bed so it doesn't fester in your heart? Yeah. So people, I get confused and people act like he's saying crazy stuff. I'm completely 100% normal. I work out. I go to the gym. I try to be kind to people. Everybody agrees. I'm tired of people acting like God says crazy stuff. Like you should have sex and be married. I'm about to give you a bomb.
Hey,
right
I was
now.
just thinking now. I was like, man, I can't. I'm trying to get that.
Watch this. There's a neuron in your brain called the preactive neuron. Every time you bust an orgasm, a guy, it takes a picture of what's in front of you. That's why sex is meant for one person. So if you have sex with multiple people, every time you bust a nut, your brain will take a picture of that girl.
I've heard of this.
This is crazy. And then with all those photos in your head, say you stop and you get married. Then you're going to struggle in your marriage, which can lead to adultery or cheating. Because you have all these girls in your head like a photo album.
Okay, hold up.
Wait, let me finish.
Oh, because this
is...
okay.
Watch this.
Great transition.
A virgin gets married and another virgin gets married. A guy and a girl. They have sex with each other at age 18. Boom, their brain both takes a photo of each other. They continue to have sex up until age 30, 40, 50. The photo changes, but it's the same person, which means they'll have a less chance of cheating on each other because they've only had sex with each other. In their brain, their preactive neuron takes a photo of them. Sex is meant for one person.
Sure.
So watch this. God's not wrong for saying that. He's protecting you. He's saying have sex with one person because when you sleep with multiple people, you open up doors, different STDs, a soul transmitted disease, because you're having sex with all these people. So watch this. It's not so crazy to have sex with one person. So I'm tired of people trying to play God and act like what he's saying is wrong. And people just say, do what you want, do what you feel.
I agree. I don't think God's saying, hold up. I
wanted to answer your question though, because you're saying live in the moment. If I want to live in the moment, then I should look at every girl who has a butt and be like, oh, let me go get on that. But I'm married and I have a kid. I can't do that. So watch this. Maybe God is actually protecting us from ourselves. And he sees something that we don't see. I'm the prime example.
Okay.
I've been with I'm not capping, 100 girls. 100 girls. And I'm a married man. And in the beginning of my marriage, it was a struggle because they kept popping into my head. And I have to try hard to suppress it. I see them out in public when I'm with my wife and kids sometimes because they've had a piece of me. But I'm married, right? My son is looking at me like, love my mama, right? I need you to be with my mama forever. So what if I just listened to God and just had sex with one person, my wife? That I wouldn't be in this predicament.
I think life is more simple and peaceful if you can do so, which I agree.
So watch this. That goes back to your question. You asked me, how do you balance being a believer and then kind of being normal and living in the moment? That's how. God doesn't say crazy stuff. That's completely okay to be with one person. I think that's noble. I think that's honorable. What's not cool is smacking everything that's walking. That's not cool. You just hurt yourself. You hurt yourself in the end.
Do you think you can only love one person?
No.
Okay. So if you only can love one person, do you think you can share love with multiple people?
You mean like if my wife passed away, or what do you mean? Like dating?
I think that's the question, right? Because this is where I agree with you here, that I think life is much easier and simpler living a life with monogamy, right? Where you're with one person, right? But I think being with multiple people, I think there's a share of love if you want to share with multiple people.
You're talking about polygamy?
Yes. And I think that people wanting to, with people wanting to do so, people wanting to do so in a consensual, right, relationship.
Open relationship.
Sure. Call it what it is, right? Being able to do so, I don't think that's a problem. People want to be able to go and have. Now, this is, again, I think we're talking about two different things. Am I talking about belief, faith in the individual, or am I talking about socially normal, socially acceptable? And I think that people wanting to go and be with multiple people should have the ability to do so.
Okay, so if you had a daughter,
I don't, but I do not. But I do not recommend for people to do so. That's where we stand.
Okay, so if you had a daughter,
Shoot.
and she says, "I want an open marriage with 4 men," what do you say?
Be free.
Really?
I don't want you to do so, right? I don't think that's a good idea, right? I would tell, hey, I don't think it's a good idea. This is the good and bad of the system, right? That's where I stand. But if it's her decision, she wants to go do that, do it. I think it's like.
But you don't want her to do it.
Yeah.
So why are you fighting for this idea if you wouldn't want your own daughter to do it?
Well,
you're like this. You're saying this. I don't want my kid to do it, but hey, these people should have the choice to do it. But me, I don't want my kid to do it. That's what you're saying. You're saying two different things. Okay. You have to stand on that. If you're for the open relationship and polygamy, then you need to be clapping when your daughter says that, essentially, because you're trying to fight for their rights too. So I'm not understanding the disconnect.
Hold up. I don't think everything is so black and white. I don't think everything has to be so.
Oh, yeah, definitely everything's not black and white.
Well, again, so I think there's a little bit of gray and understanding in certain situations, right?
Yep.
And that's the situation. If it's mine, that's different. If it's yours, that's not.
What?
Because you have to understand that, right? Like if I'm gonna go,
I don't mind if you shoot this gun, but hey, my kid, hey, you can't do that. But y'all can go do a drive-by.
Absolutely. If I have a kid who says, hey, I want to join the military, okay. Listen, look, I like the military. I know we need the military. But I don't want my kid going out there and having to go shot. Now, if he wants to do that, hey man, do your thing. Because I want my kid to be noble, be able to do that, can have the decision to do so. But do I want my kid to get shot at and get killed and live his life until he's 25 years old by a government that barely does give a fuck about him? No, I don't. But at the end of the day, do I want someone to have the ability to do so? Do we need to get protected? Yeah. Does it have to be my kid? No. And so, what do you mean? I don't think it's so out of this world to have that type of mentality. I would even say the same thing in terms of eating. Right, like if someone wants to be a vegan and all they want to eat is plants, like okay, fuck you, I go do it, be free, be like awesome. But if someone comes to me and says, hey, look, actually,
you have to eat plants,
that's a whole different like wait, hold the phone. It's kind of like this whole and I just get back to where we're coming from.
Yeah, right.
That's where I think I stand. I believe in.
Not for your household, but you believe people should be able to do what they want to do.
Yeah, even in
your household, you have your own specific set of rules.
Now, see, that's where I think we would lean. I don't have rules. I think I just would have philosophies. I would have an understanding, a psychology. I
think life is better when you have rules.
I think that's fair. I think that
because you stop at a stop sign, that's a rule. You yield, that's a rule.
True.
You don't park in the handicap parking, that's a rule. So what you're saying is not true because you follow rules every day. You pay taxes on your business. That's a rule. See, so you agree with rules. So you believe your household, if you had kids, should have rules because you live by rules every single day. You believe in rules.
I believe in rules.
You believe in rules in every way possible.
Then
you're saying my house shouldn't have rules. I should have philosophy.
Hold up. Okay, so I'm a libertarian.
Dog, I'm getting your liberalism right now, bro.
So then you have to understand, like, my social contracts is very dangerous in my mind. Like, telling someone what they can or cannot do with their own life and body, as long as it doesn't affect me, I think that's a very dangerous dynamic. Yes, I do think you, in some way, shape, or form, have to protect people from themselves. I do. But I don't think you can go and just tell people, like, you can't operate or act or be who, like you can't, even in my own household, I'm just letting you know, like, look, the way the rules, and again, this is obviously completely probably different when I have a kid. Because listen, I will give you this, because as soon as as you have a kid, like
your thinking changes.
I'm to your words, the trifecta has not been completed, right?
Yeah.
But that's where I stand. I just don't think you have the ability. I don't think you should be able to tell people, because I feel like that causes the most friction and the most destruction in someone's mind. If I have someone in my household, right, and this is where I think we're gonna get into the gender, right? If I think in the rule in my house, men need to wear women's clothes, I don't think that rule's being set in the same token, right? If I have a rule in my house saying that men must wear men's clothes, right? I think that there's some times where people are gonna start fighting like the rule, like why in testing the rule. So you kind of have to understand,
if
like
the rule don't make sense, yeah, they're probably gonna fight.
Yes.
You don't fight a stop sign.
But why
you don't fight a handicapped parking spot?
Why does the rule make sense?
You don't fight gas in your car. That is a rule. Your car does not work without gas. You don't put water in your car. So you don't fight rules that make sense.
But men used to wear skirts. They used to wear heels.
Okay.
So, like, at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself why the rules are. So it's not just about the rule. It's about understanding the psychology and the philosophy of why the rule is in place. I want my kids to understand the psychology and philosophy of things, not so much to be like you cannot or cannot and do. That doesn't matter to me. My point is saying, hey, look, this is the rules that we follow in this household. This is the understanding of why we do it, right? I want them to understand more of why than why not, right? Or excuse me, why instead of no, right?
Yeah, of course. Because explaining it to them, I agree with that.
Okay, so that's what I'm trying to explain. I think the psychology and philosophy is way more important than the rule itself. Sure, at the end of the day, we have a rule, but I don't want to tell
why. Definitely.
That's what my thing is. I would tell my kid, okay, hey, I want to wear. Let's say, okay,
You're trying to say it's not really about. You don't want it to be called a rule. You want it to be, this is the philosophy.
Yes, but let me explain. So if I had a kid that comes to me and says, "Hey, Dad, I'm a boy, right? But I want to be a girl, right?" The first thing I'm thinking, right, is all right, bet. So you want to be a girl? You need to explain to me why, right? Like we're conversating here. It's not like no, we ain't doing it. That's not. You see the rule? You look at the board.
Of course,
it says no, right?
Like home should be filled with love first. So I totally understand that.
So you get where I'm coming from, though?
Yeah, that's you would want to know their thought process.
Yes, of course. I want to understand the psychology. I want to understand the philosophy, and then I want to break it down. Okay, this is all right. Let's. You want to go down this road? Okay, let's look at it, and then I'm going to show them the life of what someone lives like that, how painful it is, and why I wouldn't do it. And this is essentially what's going on. That's support.
Pretty good. I agree with that.
Now, would you support them?
I would do exactly what you just did. Like explain, okay, if you want to live your life this way, these are the consequences that come with it. Mm. But no, I would not support it. Mm. No. But watch this. I wouldn't love my kid any less.
So what's the difference?
You're still my son. You're still my daughter. But if you think I'm finna go buy you a dress from Forever 21, on God, I'm not doing that. But watch this. That doesn't change the love I have for you. I'm still your dad. So we're still going to do what we do. I'm still going to do what I do. I wrestle with my son now. If I keep wrestling with him, I'm still going to wrestle with him. It's not going to change my love for you. But watch this. I don't always have to agree with you. We don't agree with each other, but there's love here, correct?
Facts.
I would treat my son or daughter just like that if they struggled with their sexuality. The love is not going to go anywhere, but I'm not going to agree with your lifestyle.
Okay, then let's.
Just like if my son gangbanged. I'm not agreeing with that. I don't want you killing your own people, hurting your community, selling drugs to people in your community and that causing death. I don't have to agree with that, but I don't have to love you any less. And that's where people get it twisted. You can disagree with somebody and still love them. We can have two different perspectives. But I'm still going to do everything I can to try to help you, like we talked about with the storage and the SD card. Even though you may be on the opposite end of the spectrum, the love I have is not going to change. But I don't have to agree with your ass. Why do we always have to agree? We don't. It's not going to change my love for you.
I'm going to go middle ground then, not too polarized then. We're going to go hit the gray. Your kid wants to be, I don't know if you're probably going to agree with this when I say it. Good. Wants to be the next actor. Let's just say they like.
You want to be Michael B. Jordan, Will Smith? What's up?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to find the probability, right?
What's wrong with
that's my question, right?
That's cool.
Okay. Let's say they want to be a circus. They want to join a circus. Okay. Let's say that. Okay, that's a look, right? There's some circus Circle del what is it? Circle del Sol, right? Some of the most insane circus people making hundreds of thousands of dollars, but that is like the 1%.
Yep.
So
you're asking what I would say.
This is the question, right? Because there's certain things that you will not agree with, right? And so at someday, do you support someone? It's not a crazy thing. They're not want to become this like, they're not, but they want to work hard at something and become good at it, right?
Yeah.
What is the still no support, but I still love you? Like that just seems so like, I know what it feels like to be in that, because that's exactly how my relationship with my father is.
Yeah.
It's the exact same. Mm-hmm. He did not want me to do business at all in any way, shape, or form. There was no support. No.
That's so strange because business runs the world, and business is not morally wrong or anything.
Hold up. I think there's some sense to it. I understand where he's coming from, right? The chances of business happening, me dropping out of college, going into business, right? The chances of that happening, statistically, the chances of a business surviving is like 1 out of every, they say 100.
Okay.
Like it's not like this, oh my gosh, you're going to be uber successul
for
this venture. It's going to be really difficult.
Yeah.
At least get your degree and do your thing before you go down that venture, right? So I don't have I have support, but in a way I don't, right? Mm-hmm. Right? So the question I have is that, like, you want to do what's best for your kid or your child or whatever, but at the same time, you also dragging them slower. They're moving slower because of that weight that you have put on there. Like this lack of just like, well, you're going to go out in the desert. Good luck out there. Even though I have a camel right here, like, look, let's just get you there. Like, you kind of understand where I'm coming from?
But tell me your question so I can answer.
Okay, so the question is, when do you support people? When do you actually go and give them, even if you don't agree? What does that look like?
I think every situation is different. It goes back to what I'm saying. You can still support somebody. Okay, let's use the circus
example.
Okay, I'd go, all right, this is the life of somebody who's in the circus, the average person. These are the pros, these are the cons. I'd say son or daughter. I'll use my son, baby Monty. Are there a lot of great doctors in the world? Yeah. Are there a lot of great basketball players in the world? Yeah. Baseball? Yeah. Entrepreneurs? Yeah. Artists? Yeah. I'll say, name me the great circus person in the world. And then I'll wait and it'll be quiet. And you probably can't think of it. So I'll say, why would you go in that career? I'm a man. Legacy is important. There's people who are doctors who leave a legacy. People who are great philanthropists who leave a legacy. People who are great NBA players and leave a legacy. People who are great entrepreneurs and leave a legacy. I would say, how does you being involved in the circus leave a great legacy for you, for my name and your name?
Hey, Dad, I still want to be a circus. So what does that look like?
But God willing, I raise my son to where
you're telling me that.
No, he's not simple-minded and just thinking.
Of course,
like that.
Okay, but that's not the question here.
No, but I'm answering
that
your
son,
question.
Right? I'm that son. I'm that son.
But can I be honest though?
Okay, no, I understand
about your dad, at least from what you've told me.
Yeah, but my father's okay. Go on. I have no shade to I love my fucking dad,
and it's
my
no disrespect.
Yeah,
but that is the weirdest thing I've ever heard. Of him not supporting you with business. I thought you were going to say something crazy like, I wanted to be an actor, and he didn't support me. Then I'd be like, hell yeah, that's not sustainable almost 95% of the time. But business runs the world. Everything is a business. Yum Yum's a business. Naked's a business. So I don't get why he didn't support you with that. That's stupid to me, bro. You didn't come to him saying you want to be some gender studies major.
Okay, I understand.
Like I don't he made it seem like to you like I'm not supporting you being a business major. What are you talking about? Everything in the world is a business. So that is lame on his part to me that he didn't support you in that.
Well, I think again, you have to
I can use myself. I want to be an actor coming out of high school.
Okay.
I said, Dad, I want to be a theater major. He said, no. Why? Boy, you can't make no bread being a theater major. The chances of you making it in Hollywood are slim. And I went, okay, you're right. That makes sense for him not to support me, but your son wanting to be a business major and you're not getting support? That's weird, bro. I feel like any normal person would support their son being a business major.
Okay, hold up. Okay, listen.
Like,
okay,
you didn't say something extreme.
Okay, but I'm gonna take it back. I'm not letting you run from this. I'm not taking it back. My question.
You know I ain't running. Come on, I'm not running, bro.
Come on, then.
Let's go. Come on, talk to me.
But I believe you have to support someone. Listen. My kid wants to be a girl. Well, you can be the best damn girl ever. Like, at the end of the day,
I disagree with you.
But
you don't have a kid yet, bro. If you have a boy, you have a son first.
Look, you want to be a killer? All right, man. You gonna be an assassin. We gonna be going here.
If you have a son first and he looks at you and says, "I want to be a girl," you're not gonna tell me you're jumping for joy to support them.
Of course not.
If this happens in your life, you better call me when this happens, because I want to know exactly what you're gonna say. So you're not gonna be jumping for. Wait, I have a real example.
Hold this video. Full cap. Watch this in 5 years, okay? And I watch. And if my kid ever replay this, keep this archived, because I'm telling you, one, I don't think it will happen. But two, watch the way I handle it. Watch. Like, I'm going to go through the same thing you just did. Explain the psychology of philosophy and why that's not the case. Why we believe what we believe. This is what a man is.
And if they disagree, you'll still support them?
I have to.
You'll support the sex change? Come on, man. You're not doing that when your kid gets here, bro. You're only, watch this. You only feel, okay. I'll use a perfect example.
I'll support with my feelings, but it doesn't have to be my dollars.
Wait, watch this.
It doesn't have to be my dollars, though.
But watch this.
That's different.
I got you. I got you right here.
Before
I had kids.
You think this is checkmate? All right, watch.
Before I had kids,
okay,
I would see kids cutting up in Target or Walmart. I'd be like, man, they need to get their kid, man. That kid is acting crazy. I have a kid who cuts up in Walmart now when we grocery shop. And I'm like, yeah, my son's just having a tough time here today. I'm not like, man, I'm about to get on you and patronize you right now. I have a different perspective because I have the kid. But before, I was like, they need to get their kid who cuts up in public. I'll be real. I'll be honest right now. When I see little white kids talk back to their parents, I'm like, man, you need to slap that kid, man. What are you doing? But now I'm a parent and I understand. So now instead of slapping my kid, I come down to his level. I say, son, do you need a hug? And he lays his head on my chest. I said that to say my perspective changed when I became the trifecta of complete man. You're saying you'll still support your kid if they want to have a sex change because you don't have a kid yet.
Okay, so
when your kid gets here, your whole thinking, everything inside you is going to change.
Support's a strong word. Everybody listen.
Everything inside you is going to change.
Don't listen to him right now. Okay, listen, guys.
You're capping.
I'm just talking to you right now.
Everything's going to change.
Look. Hey, listen, I'm talking to you.
After you have your kid, I want you to call me when you do skin to skin contact, and I want you to. I'm gonna say, how do you feel?
I will call you.
I would do anything to protect this kid.
Facts.
I would do anything to show this kid the right way to live.
Of course, but you at some point
saying that because you don't have a kid.
No, because some person out there had to let their kid become the Circus LA, Circus de la Soul, whatever.
You're right.
And that entertains me. I'm like, shit, I'm at Vegas. I'm like, damn, they just, oh my God.
Blue Man Group. Someone had to tell his parents I want to be a Blue Man.
Facts. So I'm thinking okay, well then.
Their parents are probably like, what?
So if I'm going to sit there and actually go and have this and get really involved into someone, not just a quick, no, why would you do that, blah, 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 and leave it alone, but actually have an in-depth conversation, I would spend years trying to understand and get the best. Listen, this is why we're doing, this is why, I'm not just letting it be like a one-night conversation.
Oh, of course not.
But of course, at some point, that's what I'm trying to explain. It would be a support. Hey, look, then I'm not with. And again, I don't think you should support things with your dollars if you don't believe in it. I don't think you should.
I have a question. Do you want grandkids?
Yes.
So say you and your wife had one son.
Adopt them.
No. I'm asking you a question man to man right now. I'm asking you a question. Do you want your last name to live on? Yes or no?
Of course. Adopt them. Let's just look. Nobody's going to know.
Do you want your seed in your last name to come from you?
Of course.
Do you want your seed to come from your son?
Of course.
So then you're capping. You're not going to support your son to change to be a female. Because you want your name to live on. You're not going to feel the same if that kid is adopted.
Armani, listen.
See, you're capping right now.
You're capping because I just asked you earlier. At some point, I hit you. Full stop. At some point, your kid comes to you and says, "Hey, I want to be the Circus de la Soul," you tried everything you could to convince them otherwise. Are you sitting there telling me right now? I'm not going to support you. I still love you. You're my son. I'll take, hey, great, but I just don't. You're not gonna see me there at the show.
Okay.
You're not gonna see me there.
Okay, I'll answer your question.
Okay, thank you.
If you feel like I avoided it. So, first off, I'm not with that weird stuff. I want to put a sword down my throat. No. But if you're talking about a cool circus where you have lions and animals and you're chasing them and they're jumping and walking tightropes, I think that's kind of cool, no lie. So I'll say this. All right, son, let's be realistic. I'll say this. I'll support you. Let's have a 5-year plan, though. And if this don't blow in 5 years, we're done. So how about that? That answers your question.
We're done? You're gonna cut off your son?
No. We're done with supporting the circus dream.
Okay.
But I'm just saying this. As long as it ain't weird and you putting swords down your throat and fire, I'm not doing that. I'm not putting your health and your life in jeopardy. But if you want to go join the circus, let's try this 5-year plan. Let's see if it works. Because we live in a TikTok world, right? An Instagram world. Here's the reality about any podcast, any type of reel, or anything. If you're popping, people like it.
So what? Okay.
If they don't, they don't.
Then
let's try it.
Let's go flip it then. I'm going to go full flip.
Let's go. Come on.
I'm going to go full flip. Your son comes up to you and says, Dad, I'm a liberal.
Okay.
I want to be, I want to vote for Hillary Clinton.
Okay.
I want to, you know what? My kids, everyone, I'm going to build a psychology and philosophy in the Democratic Party. Like this.
So tell me what the psychology is. Tell me.
Okay.
Like me, I'm
Green
conservative.
New Deal.
Okay.
Anti-Trump.
Okay.
You know, let's go.
Okay.
Full stop. Pro-abortion. You listen. Not my faith. I'm a Christian, but I'm socially I'm so dead ass. You want something? Dude, that shit is fire, right? Dead ass.
Fire, bro.
Okay,
Yeah,
man. Yeah,
yeah,
that shit up.
yeah, that's fire.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Shout out to Coconut Water, man. They don't know.
Give us a sponsor. Stop playing.
Hey, you know, dead ass. We need that. But full stop. You know, Trump just announced. Everybody, chat. Trump just announced that he's running in 2024.
Yep.
And
I hope he wins.
I just don't think he didn't do shit. What did he do?
Not true.
Okay, then.
Okay, I'm glad I wrote this down.
He didn't
before
do
we
shit.
got here.
I did too.
So this is facts. Trump donated $255 million to historical black colleges. Did you know that?
Yeah, I did.
He didn't do nothing. He did that. Look. You're black, right?
I'm black.
I'm black. He did that for our people, and that touches my heart. That he thought about small historical black colleges because I went to a historical black college. That touches my heart. Come on, bro.
So
you just said he didn't do anything.
So you believe in welfare?
What are you talking about? I'm talking about him donating money to a historical black college.
That's welfare.
No, that is allowing kids to go to school.
That's welfare.
Kids of color.
That's welfare.
But he did something. You just said he didn't do anything.
But that's my point. My point is that what did he do? Because again, I don't believe in welfare. Mm-hmm. So this is great because I don't.
He donated that money. That's great.
But I don't think I think that's a social welfare. I don't believe in welfare. I don't think you should give people money to go and do I don't think that's a good thing unless you're giving it directly to the person. Unless with no loans or anything like that. Unless you're giving it directly to the individual. I don't believe in social welfare. I don't believe in that type of mentality. I don't think that's a good benefit to the black community. I don't even think I think schools in general make a ton of money. They get a ton of tax breaks. They get hooked up.
Not historical black colleges. I've been to one. They don't function like a UC or Cal State. They're very different.
I agree with this.
They're very different.
I agree with this, and I think they don't get a lot of. They obviously don't get students.
They don't get a lot of funding.
That's
why I'm thankful Trump did that. So what are people talking about? He didn't do anything. $255 million. He's a rich white man. He did not have to do that, bro.
Not from his own pocket.
But he did that. Like, come on, that's love, bro.
I'm not saying, again, my point of view is that for the black community, if you want to go, we're going to go, into the black community. I do believe that Trump, in a way, did just about the same as Obama. Because if we talk about right now,
what did Obama do?
What was it called? When
same-sex marriage and high gas prices?
Hold up. There's
I told the story about my dad. About how he had to take that $10 back from me because gas was so high underneath Obama's watch. So what did he do? My parents lost their home in 2008 because of his recession. What did he do?
Okay, so then I'll put it back on you then. My wife, right, would try to go for a sponsorship, right? The Trump ban, the Muslim ban that he did when he first got into office, stopped her visa from being able to. That was $100,000 visa that we had to pay to be able to get started into that program because of the Muslim ban that he did. I'm not going to use my personal, my anecdotes, right?
I'm sorry. I want to say I'm sorry she had to go through.
Hey, that's life. But at the end of the day, right? You kind of get into this point where you get this back and forth, right? Yeah. Now, Trump economy was all from Obama's economy. You can't just walk into office and say,
I have a question. Do you think inflation should be lower? Yes or no?
I think we're getting what we deserve.
No.
So I think it should be right where it's at.
I think do you want it higher or lower?
Do I want it lower? Yes, but do we need it? Do we need it lower?
Trump said that in that video you sent me. I want to get inflation back to 1%. So you're just agreeing with what Trump just said.
No, because that's not.
Yes, you are. You want it lower.
Right after he said that, he immediately said that you can devalue the dollar. He's devaluing the dollar. Because if you lower interest rates, people borrow more money. And by borrowing more money, right, and loaning out, you're loaning out more money. Where's that money coming from? That's just increasing our trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars that we are in debt already. So that's not a good thing.
Who do we owe trillions of dollars to? The Decepticons?
China, bro. China.
I be wondering, bro. When they say we're trillions of dollars in debt, I'm like, who do we owe money to? The Autobots? Like, who do we owe this money to, bro?
China, bro. China fucking owes a shit ton of fucking. Japan owes a shit ton of our stuff. They have us by the balls. We need to have high interest rates. We need to. It's not like I don't want to. Of course, I would like to buy a house for fucking $3. Like, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, right? You need that to happen so so prices can actually fall because the cost of things are just out of control. It's insane. So Trump coming back into office saying how he wants a great economy. That's not a real economy. It's a fake economy. That's not a real economy. Like, this is just not. Like, we need interest rates to be where they're at right now. No, I don't want it to. Well, I'm just saying we do.
See, you're saying two different things. You just said we need interest rates to be where they're at right now, but I don't want them to.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Bro, you just said two different things.
Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Okay. Everybody in the seat in the back, okay? If you can have 20 bad bitches right now, 20 bad bitches, like, ooh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But go
ahead.
And we're in single, okay? Yeah. 20 bad bitches right now, right? Or you can have a doctorate degree. Now, what do I want?
One woman, or are you saying like a doctorate degree for ourselves?
Yes, getting a doctorate.
Oh, the doctorate degree, no brainer.
But my point is that people want to have sex.
Of course.
No one wants to go through that whole process to get their doctorate degree.
Yeah.
People just want. Oh my gosh, I'm getting hit up. All the homies.
You're watching it right now?
No, some of them, yeah. But
what's poppin', man? What's up with it? What's happening?
So Sarah's sending, she's posting stories all day. So anyway, so one of the things that I want to talk about specifically is about that. Just because you want something doesn't mean you should get it. That's not good for you. You don't, I want 1,000 cookies. I mean, it doesn't mean like I should.
Just like if your kid wants a sex change, they shouldn't get it. It's the same thing, bro. You're right. See, you're like conflicted almost.
What do you mean?
There's like this liberal side of you, but then there's this like small conservative faith side in you as well. There's two.
I'm telling you.
Because you've been saying you're saying like two things that are
I'm
polar
saying the same thing.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
I'm consistent. Look at Sarah. Tell me the truth. Look at right now, deadass right now. I'm telling you, if you want, just because you want something doesn't mean you should have it. Now I would tell my kid the same thing, like we were just talking about. Right? Just because my kid wants something doesn't mean they should have it. It doesn't mean it's good for them, right? So I'm going to go and try my best to convince that person. But if someone wants to do something that's bad for them, who am I to go stop them from doing it? Unless it's going to hurt other people. So back to what I was saying, the economy, him lowering it, is going to hurt thousands of people. Him raising the interest rates means that the rich can't just keep borrowing money. Because you know how easy it is to make money right now? Oh, my God. It's like if you can go to the bank and borrow $100,000, you know how much ease of mind that you have? At 2% interest rate. Oh my God! And then if you don't have the credit because you were just you grew up in a impoverished situation, you're screwed. You're absolutely. They're so far ahead. They're going in miles a minute. Yeah. Trump is not there for the average person. He's there for the uber rich. When he's talking about lowering interest rates, that doesn't help the average person. That helps the uber rich.
But wait, I have a question though. When he was president, normal houses in this area called Rosa that I wanted to buy were about $420K. Now those same houses are 700, 800,000. So what are we talking about here?
So everyone remembers
The housing market was different when he was in office.
Everyone remember, right? COVID, right? Everyone understands what COVID was.
It was lower though.
Who signed the bill for COVID relief?
I think he did, right?
And what happened after everyone got all this fucking money? The prices of everything started what? Climbing into rates that it's just because you put more money in circulation. If you allow people to take more loans out, they're gonna use that income to go and buy more stuff. You're hurting not only the average person, you're hurting the dollar itself. Instead, and this is where I think.
So you want Biden to keep being president, basically?
Listen, this is a dangerous. Now we get.
Just say yes or no. You telling me to listen? Just say yes or no. Come on. You want me to answer your questions? Do you want him to still be president? Yes or no?
He hurts my interests. It's not
saying.
No. I have to explain this. So you can't. So
just say yes or no and then explain it.
But it's not as simple as a yes or no.
Am I talking to a journalist right now, or you don't want to answer the question?
No, it's not that. No,
I'm like, do you like ice cream? You're like, let me explain it.
Yeah. Exactly. If I have to eat like some, if I have to eat mint chocolate, I'm not eating mint. I mean, no, I don't like ice cream.
Yes or no? Come on.
It's right now. Oh my God! I don't know how to answer that.
What do you mean? It's a yes or a no. Do you want him to still be the president? Yes or no?
No cap. I would right now. It's a no. But
okay,
but I would still vote for him because of, you got to understand there's a dichotomy.
Yeah, what's your reason?
Because it's just he's better for the people. He's just better. He's gonna make my situation worse. Yeah, it's not. It'll be voting not in my interest, but at the same time, if he comes president, he lowers interest rates again. I'm about to be caked up. I don't know how these people.
What do you mean lower? He has them at an all-time high. What are you talking about?
No, I'm not talking about Biden. I'm saying I want. So the question was right. Would I want Trump in office? That would be a yes, right? Because he would help my interests, me being a business owner.
Oh, so you do want Trump in office?
Yes, that's what I said.
Oh, right? I didn't know that. So that's cool.
But would I vote for Trump? The answer would be no, because it just would hurt the economy. It would make everyone's situation more worse. I don't know how to really explain it, but
because it don't make sense. That's why you're saying you wouldn't vote for him, but you want him in office. That's two different things.
You gotta hear what you come on.
I'm trying to hear you, but you're saying
no. You have to understand what I'm saying, though.
How? When you're saying two different things.
I think you're not being generous here. I really don't think you're being. How? I really think there's no way you can't understand where my perspective is coming from. That you I want to have I want to have $1 trillion in my bank account, right? Yeah, I want to have
everybody. Okay,
but what that would do to all the fucking people in the world?
Okay,
that's not. I mean, it wouldn't be beneficial. So actually, I want $1 trillion. But damn, should I have $1 trillion? The power my dumb ass to have $1 trillion? What I would do with that money? Like that's my point. My point is saying that yes, I would want someone in office because it would benefit me in my position.
Yeah.
But would it benefit the average person? It would.
What if the average person just learned though? I'll use myself. Ask me why I'm so pro-Trump. You never asked me.
I haven't got there yet. You've been demolishing me on yes or no. So why are you so pro-Trump?
Trump made me over $100,000 in the stock market. Watch this, because I took the time to learn from somebody who was a 1%er. He made me over $100K. That's why all this Trump slander, I'm like, I don't care what people say. I'm thankful that nigga made me money. So I respect him. At least where I come from, like I told you, I grew up around gangbanging, right? We respect niggas who get money.
Facts.
That's just how it is in black communities.
Yeah.
I don't agree with it, but I got to respect that nigga's getting money. That's all I'm saying. Before he was president, he knows how to get money. That is a money-getting nigga. I want somebody who gets money leading the country because guess what? He can't be bribed. Do you know why? Because he's a billionaire. You can't bribe Trump because he made all his money before he was the president. That's why I respect him. You can bribe Biden because he's not a multi-billionaire.
Hold up. Okay. So
yes.
no, let's
Most
get there.
Politicians get bribed. How can you bribe somebody who is a billionaire before he was a president?
So how about January 6th then? Explain that. How you explain January 6th insurrection when they come into storming the Capitol?
That
and you have
was
all his.
I'm not saying I'm for that. That was crazy,
So
bro.
it doesn't matter how much money you have. You want the power of being the government. One individual having a lot of money cannot. You can the taxing people and having that much power. To be able to create rules. There is no amount of money. I don't think you.
No, but you said he doesn't help the average person. When I told you,
he helps the rich.
I'm not rich, and he helped me make $100K. So what are you talking about? You just said he doesn't help the average person. He helped me. You want to know why? Because in Biden's economy, I can't hit for stocks the same.
That's true.
So Trump's economy allowed me to make over 100 bands, bro. That's why I feel like I owe some type of loyalty to him because he helped me make that. Now, remember I told you I didn't steward it correctly and I lost it? Imagine if I would have stewarded that money correctly. My life would be totally different right now. I'd have my group home open up because of under Trump's wing. And he's so big on stocks in Wall Street. He knows how to make money.
I'm not saying.
I respect that. So if he knows how to make money, I could probably learn how to make money as long as he's president.
Then I'll ask you this, and I'll take that back. I would not say he helps the rich. He does not help the average person. And I'm Armani, I know you're not going to say you're an average person. You're not an average. You're an above average person. You understand?
That's a good point.
So those
That's a good point.
Those who are. But and that's what
as far as how I was raised. You're right about that. Okay, that's a good point. I won't push back. You're right. But I'm not an average person as far as how I was raised in the mentorship that I've had. But you're right. But you're talking about the average person.
Just average people. The average individual
I can't push back
is not investing into stocks. The average individual is not in the markets. The average individual is working at Vons trying to figure out how she's going to rush home with their groceries back so she can cook food before her husband has to head out to work because he's a truck driver, has to drive all the way out to Oklahoma or some crazy shit.
That's a good perspective. I'm not giving you pushback.
So my point is saying they're just trying to figure out how to put food on the table, and the economy getting worse and worse and worse, and rent prices going up,
crazy
and up. It makes things harder for people to go. Yes, it makes you more money. The rent prices going up makes I'm rich. Yeah, let's go. Right, it's gonna make my situation better, but for the average individual, it does not help. Now, again, I would like him in office because it helps me, but at the same time, I think that it's brutal. That's why. Why do you think
when do people have to take accountability and learn? I heard he went to Etowanda. You should interview him. Tony Robinson. Do you know him?
Who?
Tony Robinson. He graduated my year. He's a multimillionaire.
I would love to.
He says you're mad at the landlord for upping rent prices. He says, why don't you learn to become the landlord and stop complaining? He's from Etowanda. He had a kid when I was a sophomore or a freshman.
Whoa.
He had a kid at 14. So he is considered average. And he's a multimillionaire, him and his wife. They graduated 2009. He said, become the landlord and stop complaining. Because the reality is we all have YouTube right now. You can YouTube some of this stuff now, bro.
So I agree.
When do we take accountability? Watch this. Man, I punch on everybody age 20. I beat up everybody age 30. I beat up everybody age 40. When am I going to take accountability and learn that I'm the problem because I'm the one punching on somebody? Do I continue to make the excuse or do I have to do some looking in?
I absolutely agree.
When does the average person have to take control of their life?
I 100% agree with you. So this is why
you're saying he's not for the average person. When does the average person have to go, this ain't working?
This is why I don't believe in social welfare. This is why I don't think that like giving out thousands upon thousands of dollars to even black colleges and stuff is not beneficial for people. I'm not a Democrat.
Not true though, man.
I'm not a Democrat.
I had a kid named K1 in Watts, man. He came from the gutter, and I sent him to a historical black college, Texas Southern University in the middle of downtown Houston, and he had high success because his physiology changed, which means he got to leave the projects and be around something different, and he did well at a historical black college.
I think
that was paid for by Trump.
I think that
because you just said it doesn't work, and it worked for him.
Okay, hold up. I think that
I love when you say, "Okay, hold up." I love it.
I think that that's the job of nonprofits. That's the job of churches, and keep putting the money back into people's pockets instead of taxing people to be able to receive that. It makes situations. The dollar is out of control. Like it's just the gas prices is not because of Biden. it was keeping interest rates that low for so long was going when things got back to normal, things were going to go out of control. Out of control. And so yeah, man, the rich get richer. And what I mean by that is that the rich minded, right? The individuals who are in the mindset of understanding how to make money and use it for themselves or use it for tools of investing can just change the world. But those who are just trying to make paycheck to paycheck and just trying to make ends meet, because someone has to be the grocery, someone has to be the grocery clerk. Someone has to be like the gas station guy. Someone has to play that role. Right, someone's gonna have to. The whole economy cannot move unless these people are doing this. It's not like you can't just tell everyone. It's like you got to be able to pick yourself up. At some point in time, someone has to be that person.
I agree with that. Somebody has to be the bag boy.
Someone has to be it. Now, I just think that person shouldn't be like a 6-year-old guy. I think that person should be like the high school kid.
Definitely, I agree with that too.
So I just think that's why the welfare thing really screwed it up. Where you had,
I agree.
He just writing checks just to try and keep the party going. Let's bring more drinks. People are gonna die if you keep bringing more drinks. Okay, let's just end the party. Let's reset. Yeah, it's not fun, guys. I know you guys are like, fuck, I want to go back to the party. Like, I get it. Okay, but you need to chill. Like, we need to take a time to get our ducks in a row before.
So you're saying you essentially agree with the high gas prices and the Green Deal. So we can all stop using gas and get Teslas. That's what Biden's trying to do. And Newsom. So you agree with that?
I do not agree with Newsom.
That's what Biden wants to do too, in case you don't know.
I do know that. I agree. If we're talking about economy here, I think Biden's economy, what's going to happen regardless with Trump or not, that's just my opinion. And again, interest rates being where they are has nothing to do with Trump or Biden. That's the Federal Reserve. That's the Fed doing it. He has no. If Trump gets back in the office, he has nothing's going to change unless he, in the smoke-filled room of a back alley, goes and sits down with the Fed chairman and tells him, "Hey, look, man, I need you to lower these interest rates." Like unless that happens, it's just.
Biden said in 1975 that black kids shouldn't be in the same school as white kids. You know that?
I do. I
Come on, bro.
Yes, I do.
Let's cut the crap, bro.
He
said it'll be a jungle. He doesn't want them together. That means he was racist. One thing about Trump, I didn't hear anybody say a damn thing before he got president. He was in photos with Snoop Dogg, 50 Cent. Nobody said he was racist then. That's all I'm saying, bro.
What about Trump College?
Biden said that in 75, bro. He called me and you animals. Come on, bro. That means that's how he really feels inside, bro.
He was the vice president of the first black president. Why would Obama run and win with a racist? You have to make sense to me. Make sense.
Because Obama's not black, and that's a topic for another day.
All right, guys. So
we can get into that another time. Obama's not black, bro. You think he's black? He's not black. We can get into that though.
What did I miss? I think I'm making sure I got enough time.
Oh man.
Give me one sec. Yeah, let me just see what's going on here. Please check with dang. You texting Brandon? Yeah. Oh, thank you. Sorry, he just texted me, so I was making sure. All right, so
West.
Okay, let me give me a second here. What was the last thing we had a few topics here. We got one last topic we can get into.
Let me check.
Armani Graham. All right. So all right, the final thing I want to get into. So I think there's a difference between trap and rap.
Okay.
I don't think trap is good for black community.
Yep. I agree.
But I think rap is.
Yeah, you're talking about like J. Cole is rap. Trap would be
Lil Uzi Vert, like
good Lord, like Lil Durk.
Lil Durk.
Lil Durk could be trap. Rap would be J. Cole.
Anything with little in front, I'm just kidding.
All right, no, most of the time though, if we're being honest, yeah. All right, so go ahead.
I don't think I think the tough part about music right now, especially hip hop, because I don't even listen to hip hop like I used to.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough because
They all cap.
trap is someone told me. Someone just explained this to me, and I think he explained it really well. Rap is rhythm and poetry. And the real key thing is the poetry beside things of really trying to get the message out.
Yep.
Trap is the not thoughtless. The way he tried to explain it is that it's not it's thoughtless rhythm and poetry. It's just the feeling, the anger, the raw tapped in emotions of just like your situation, being inside this place that you're just letting it out, and there's no. It's just raw in a way. I mean, I don't know how to put it in that sense, but like that's the best way. But what's happening is that kind of the same thing I feel like when it comes to like the LGBTQ type of aspect is that rap has enveloped trap and it just became the same thing. Mm-hmm. And so people are having a hard time determining like what is really rap and what is, and that's why I think the separation of the two is. So I think rap is very good for black community. Mm-hmm. I think trap though, it's unless it's who is that guy? There's a guy who he raps, but he always talks about like how the struggle.
Lil Baby?
No.
A lot of rappers talk about the struggle. You got to be
no, but not idolizes it. He talks about it as if like, I'll pull it up. Go. But what is your opinion on kind of rap in the community and how that how the correlation has gone with it? Like, do you think it's a benefit or a negative?
Honestly, I think rap right now is a negative.
In general?
In general.
Really?
Because most people, they're capping. They're talking about stuff that's not real. Most of the stuff they talk about is not real. So, I got 3 girls. Like, the average person doesn't have 3 girls. And you're telling me I need to have 3 girls. Like, it's not real. The money, the house, the cars, the jewelry, it's not real. The average American doesn't have that. So, it's like they're rapping about a fantasy. And I think it really poisons the black community, especially when you're talking about murder. I'm all for somebody telling a story like if my brother died and I'm rapping about it. And I'm telling that to show people, hey, this is my light. This is how I grew up. And this is my story. And I hope this reaches somebody. But I'm not for talking about you killing your ops. I'm not for none of that, bro. It poisons the young black kid who's in the hood who already lives in a bad environment. So I'm 100% against it. I'm against them pushing poison to poison young black kids and kids of color who already grow up in a toxic environment.
Again, I think this is where I get... See, I think one of the things that I definitely do struggle with, which I think you're exploiting right now, very well, I might say, is that, again, I don't think you should do it, but I'm okay with people who do it. And I think this is where it's dangerous, right? If I had kids, I just would be very like, hey, look, man, like, you have to really monitor your kids and what's going on with them, right? But there is a good outlet for them to have and to be able to find a community that they can feel the pain or sorrow. Like if I had a kid who's handicapped, I do want them to have a handicapped community, but I don't want them to feel handicapped. Does that make sense? I want my kid to feel like, okay, hey, you can be around normal kids and have fun just like them. Yes, you are handicapped. Yes, you are a man. You want to be a girl. Like, but you can still hang out with these people and be able to, but I want them to feel like that handicapped kid doesn't have to feel restricted. I feel the same way when it comes to trap music. I feel like there's people in this world who don't have because OG like rap artists were like reading dictionaries. Like
literally.
You talk to like the old school, that's what they literally would be. They're in the lab, especially like when you talk like Wu-Tang Clan and you're talking about somebody like old school, East Coast, like, rappers. They're sitting there memorizing the dictionary, because they're wordsmiths, like crazy.
I think that was cool. Now it's out
amazing.
of hand. Bro, it's out of hand now, man. I know when I listen to trap, I want to fight. That's just me, though. I know when I listen to Lil Durk, I want to go fight somebody. I don't think the average person listening to trap is like this. Cool, that's it, and it's out of my head. I think that stuff sticks with you, man. It sticks with you in some way, shape, or form.
Do you remember the it's been a year since it happened. The sickle world where he like all these kids were
Yes.
dying.
I don't like Travis after that.
Travis, yeah.
He's a lame for that, bro. People died. Niggas died. People's kids didn't make it home because you want to have some weird ass worship concert where people are hypnotized and asking for help. And you're saying the show must go on. What, bro? That's a whole nother conversation. The average black person doesn't do that. So I don't know what kind of black people he grew up around. But me and my niggas, we don't act like that, bro. Travis is a weirdo for that. People died, bro. And it's like they just forgot.
Yeah,
There's some mom who is still mourning right now. I'm not with that, man. One thing about me, and this is how I grew up around gangbanging, I'm not with some weird stuff. Some stuff is just weird and I'm not with it. I'm not with that at all, bro. People lost their life, man. That's no joke. And Travis still dropping music like he's cool. You're a weirdo if you support him. People died at his concert, bro. What? And to get even further, parents are weird for letting their kids go to the concert. So it's really on the parent for letting a 13-year-old go to the concert. That's weird, bro. I'm not with that weird stuff, bro. I'm not with the weird cult-like stuff and some of these rappers and what they do. It's weird, bro. Travis was weird that day. I don't care what nobody says. He's in some nonsense behind the scenes that people don't want to talk about.
Whoa, that's a
He's weird, bro.
that's a hell of a. I think I know where
Accusation,
you're going.
I
Yeah,
know.
I know. I think
He's
I know where
weird
you're going
though,
there.
bro. It's like he had no empathy after it happened, bro. And that video he posted, it's like he had no empathy, like it was rehearsed. He's weird for that, bro. Either his grandma didn't raise him right, or his mama didn't do a good job, or his dad didn't do a good job. Somebody dropped the ball when he was a kid, bro. He's not like that. He's like that for a reason, bro. For real. That was so weird to me.
So why and how, if that's the case, 1, 2, 3 people dropped the ball.
Drop
Where
the ball.
Millions upon millions of people follow him. Millions upon people want to go and see his shows.
If you follow him, that shows that you have a lack of a moral compass.
I don't think that's the case. I just think, back to what I was saying earlier, that I think there's a attractiveness to pain. Misery loves company. And I think that's the goal. The goal is like you feel this pain inside. You don't know, no one else around you can understand. So you find your clique, your community.
And that don't make it right, though.
I'm not saying that makes it right.
That's like me. I hosted a party last year, and a bunch of people died. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Do you think you would still feel the same way towards me?
Absolutely not.
Okay, then. I rest my case, bro. See, that's what I'm talking about.
But then, how does millions of people still follow it? That's why I think this is where we get into the weeds with things like oh, there's this huge back end, craziness going on. I agree with you, but you have these huge young community who are influenced.
I'll be honest. I know the answer. I believe from 1 to 18, that's on the parent, bro. If my marriage is bad, it's on me as the man. If my son is cutting up, it's on me as the man. Men have shoulders. We are designed to create and carry weight. So that is on the parents of why these kids are attracted to Travis. Point blank, period. I'm not attracted to Travis.
It's a $1 trillion industry.
I've had an involved dad. So there's some stuff I don't even go for, bro. And it's because of my dad's physical presence my whole life and him being in front of me. So I know what to be, what I can see. That is the answer, bro. It's on the parents. It's completely on the parents. That your 10-year-old listens to his album after that massacre happened last year. It's on the parents, bro.
How do you control that, dude? How do you control
You have to be you can't be a perfect parent. I'm learning that. But you have to know, you have to have a moral compass. I'm sorry, but most of these topics come down to live your life, loving your neighbor, loving yourself. I believe if you live, I'm not talking about liberal or conservative, left or right. I believe if you live a more conservative life, your life will be better and you'll have a better peace of mind. Because I think when you have this free-flowing liberal perspective, you don't know what's up and what's down. It's like just blowing with the breeze. Where at least when you're conservative, you have some hard, concrete foundation. Love your wife. Love your kids. There's magic in being married. There's magic in being regular. There's magic in working a normal 9 to 5. There's magic in coming home and seeing your wife and kids and your dog. There's magic in that. That's what conservatism is grounded in. There's magic in that.
So then let me you have farmers That's what the dream
Yeah.
is, right? I'm gonna tend my land, and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna plant myself, I'm gonna sow my, I'm gonna eat.
I
my
think
own
there's
crops.
magic in that, bro.
That's not the way the world is, man. The technology of life is gonna be. I don't think really perspective of a lot of people understand. Not even 20 something years. No, not even 30 years ago. Phones were in suitcases. I don't even think a phone was invented.
Yeah.
Now we have literally people who are able to go and call phones from a watch.
Yep.
From a watch, you can watch TV, do everything from a literal watch. You can do it on your
And
glasses.
it's a blessing we have that technology.
You have a metaverse where you can enter inside of the computer and go. We're well past the whole traditional of kids don't want to see. They're not interested.
We still need that though. I'm gonna go back to your argument. We still need the bag boy.
We still need the farmer.
We still need the farmer.
So
you're saying we're past it? We're not past it because we don't survive without going to the grocery store.
Who's gonna romanticize the farmer? Who's gonna be like, man, I can't wait to be a farmer?
Watch this. You do. You want to know why?
Shoot.
Because you eat every day.
Facts, but who's
So you romanticize the farmer.
no the
'cause you eat
farmer? The
every
farmer
day.
needs to do a better job at trying to make it awesome to be a farmer. If you want to go, the farmer got to pick up a cell phone. The farmer got to go get in more technology. Everyone has to grow.
Yes.
Yes, you have to become a tech. Okay, so
But you romanticize the farmer because if you didn't, you would stop eating.
but that's I understand. But when my point is,
So you love the farmer.
of course. But my point is that these kids, right? And I know, right? When I was a kid, these kids are watching these stars. They're watching these people like, man, look at that life. Look at what they get. Look at all the right. And it's not like you can go and just be like, hey, son, listen, that shit is not real. Dad, look at it. It's right there. It's real. Like, it's
not real.
But again,
because the average person who has a business,
I know that.
you have to build it. So when they show this instant success, all these chains, all these cars, that's not real. It was not overnight. I don't like how social media glamorizes like it happens. I'm like, people cap. I made $20 million on my couch today. Like I see all these ads. Yeah, pick up your phone. What are you doing? I'm on a private jet. Bro, you're lying. That was probably years of stuff. You're just now recording it. So I don't like how social media glamorizes this instant success thing.
So
it's not true.
So back to my question. How can even if you do believe that rap music is causing people, like, because I agree, I agree that rap music is causing people to go in, especially children, right? It's not beneficial, but to say that in general that's like going back to the day and saying that Wu-Tang Clan was bad for people.
No.
But
I'm agreeing with you on that. I wish
that
music
time,
was still that. I wish it was that.
But at that time, people were saying the same thing. At that time, they were like, yo, man, Wu-Tang Clan is really bad. But look what Wu-Tang Clan took us. It took us now to where we are now. You cannot deny that they laid the road to get closer to where we are today.
I agree.
So my point is saying that, like, trap music, rap music, it's always and will always be the reflection of the time, reflection of what people feel at that time, right? Just like rock was at its time and metal came and, rap and trap, the next thing will come, the next cycle will come. It just will be it'll be what it is. Do I agree with it? No, but it is what it is. You literally can't, you buy your kid a phone, it's over. It's GG. The phone raises your kid. If you're at a point where like you have these influencers who are raising your own, it's so out of control. There's so little you have control unless you have a lot of money. Unless you have a lot of money and can put your kid through a private teacher and a private school, you have no control.
I'm still gonna raise my kid.
I think it's man. It's gonna be so hard. I think it was so hard to keep watching. Oh, that song looks interesting, and then it's so hard to control it. That's why I'm saying, like, yes, I think there's good rap. I think there's good trap. And my goal, if the graces of God, is that I've tweaked my kid's algorithm. I know I've just talked to Elon and be like, yo, listen, look. Yep. His Twitter account, I need you to just push, I need to get, you gotta be Trump.
By the way, you can tweak the algorithm. I've done it on my own phone.
How long it took?
2 years.
It's fucking what?
I did it 2 years.
But your kid's sitting there alone at night just swiping through stuff? Like, you can't control what your kid watches, man. Literally, there's actual on TikTok, there's actual kids talking about if you want to kill yourself, hey, we all it's happening right here. Yeah. It's so unfathomable. Like, that's why I'm just like, it's how in the world does an average parent stop their kids from to do and become whoever they want to become. I think all you can do is not force them to make choices, but try your best to give them the psychology and the philosophy and the tools to be able to make the best decision for themselves. I think that's all you can do.
Or you can just be it in front of them.
And
That's all I saw my dad do. I feel like I'm literally a copycat of him.
you look up to your dad, right?
Yeah. And my dad's pretty quiet too.
I wonder if kids look up to their parents. I wonder. I think that's the question, right? Do these kids, actually, that'd be a really good survey. Who do you look up to? And just seeing if anyone see the percentage that mentions their parents. And I think that actually might have convinced me. That might have been it. Because I think that is the question. Because you look up to someone on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook. But
I only look up to him. I don't look up to nobody else, honestly. Not Trump or anybody. I look up to my dad. Anytime I make most of my moves, I'm like, what will my dad do? And I think back. Guess what I do, though? I think back to a real situation of what he did. So we're in Oklahoma. It's cold. He drops me off at college first day. There's a woman on the side of the freeway. He goes, you got $20? I go, no, I don't got any cash. He goes, all right, I got it. And he gave her $20. I think about that. But when I think about what will my dad do, I think about real situations because it's hard to be. It's easy to be what you can see. So that's what I do when I make all my moves. How will my dad do it? Oh, I remember my dad did this. I remember one time my dad moved this person in from the Bahamas so they can come here, and then they got the legal paperwork, and now he's married and has kids. But they lived in our garage. So I'm so for having my house open and people coming over and me sharing meals with them. I look up to my dad. But
yeah,
right, the average person probably doesn't.
Shoot, my dad was always been involved. I look at my dad as well. I think that there's a large community of people who are looking up to someone and who can understand what it feels like to be in their position. And music just has a way of doing that to you, and especially rap. Rhythm and poetry has a really good way of doing it to you. Mm-hmm. But I just think that what has happened is that like there's like now the middle class is gone, and you're now talking about like this like super low, like you're talking about the low class. Mm-hmm. Trap is like, the trap is like, I think it has to be a multi-billion, at least $1 trillion industry. It has to be.
It's crazy, bro.
But that's what I'm just saying. Like, no one's listening to that. I mean, it's hard for me. It's crazy. I was on my phone today and I just got a message from iTunes saying that, hey, look, we're going to charge you more, another $1. I'm like, motherfucker. And then I was like, all right, whatever. So I looked at the 3 sections. There's 3 sections I always go on, right? Dance, electronic, and then rap. That's the only thing I do. But they call it rap, right? Or hip hop, which was the way the term.
Yeah.
But if you go on rap, and I'm looking at artists like Nas just dropped the album. Like, it's not that the album's bad. Oh my God, it's a great album. Nas's album is great. But you just look, it's just, all the artists are just trap artists. It's just like people are in so much pain. It's
people
pain.
Want to hear killing. Let's just call it what it is. People want to hear about killing, ops, and bodies. That's what people want to hear about. That doesn't mean it's right. It shows something's going on in the home where they're not raising you right. Anytime I play rap music growing up, trap, my dad would be like, turn that off. He would tell me, turn that off. And I'll be like, man, why is he being a lame? I want to listen to it. Now that I'm older, I understand it. Because it puts something inside you and it creates something inside you. But he would tell me that. We don't listen to that. Nope, turn that off.
Yeah, my dad did the same. He would only play electronic music. And I love electronic music because of my father. Yep. I love my dad.
My son likes jazz. He doesn't even like rap.
Yo.
He likes jazz.
Get excited.
And I'm like, wow, this could be cool. What if I just don't give him rap?
Just throw a saxophone in his
What
hand.
if I make him a beast, though, a hooper, a football player? When he sees you, he runs you over. And he does all that without the influence of rap music. That's deep, bro.
That's deep.
That's deep.
That's deep.
What if I make him a beast of a man without, and you say, you don't listen to Lil Durk, and he's like, wait, who's that? Man, I thought you listened to Durk because the way you smacked that dude on the football field, bro, you had a lot of aggression in you. It's all about how you raise him, man. Just be it in front of him. Just be it, bro.
So let me ask you a question. I'm gonna final question because I know it's getting late. But I have a final question then. So what do you say to those average parents who are like to working 2 jobs, 3 jobs?
Get your house in order and prioritize your kids. Get your house in order. You're tired. Get off work and prioritize your damn kids.
Like my dad prioritized me. It's on you.
I agree. Actually,
Get
I was
your
hoping.
house
I was hoping.
in order.
I'll see if you're gonna be like, well, we got them social programs that
No.
can help.
It's on the parent. Everything else, church and community, comes afterwards. I adjusted last night. I'm not a romantic at all. Not at all. And I think that's just growing up around hood niggas.
Sure.
And I was like, what am I doing? My marriage is going to die. I said, my wife would do anything for me. And I can't be romantic? It stuck with me. I'm like, forget me, Lord. My wife would do anything for me. I'm sure your wife would do anything for you.
Facts.
And I can't be romantic. So I went home and said, hey, can I help you bake cookies? And she looked at me like, what do you mean? I'm like, I want to help you bake cookies. And she was so confused, but she loved it, bro. I said, do you want to watch a romantic movie on Netflix? Even though everything inside me is saying don't. But that's just honestly the thug in me. But she was like, I would love to do that. And she texted me, hey, you want to have sex tonight? That's because of the cookies yesterday, the gesture. So I've learned it starts with me. My marriage will die because of me, not because of her. I have to be more romantic, bro. Parents have to be involved with their kids. They have to be, bro. That's why you have all these kids out here confused and wanting to do these sex changes because their parents are not involved like they should be. Be involved. If you're smart, learn your kid from a young age. What is he like? What is he not like? Make them feel important. Make them feel heard. Apologize when you're wrong. Show them it's okay to apologize. Because in my home, I didn't see that. From my dad, I did. But be that in front of them. So then they're not controlled by this TikTok and Instagram algorithm. I have enough conviction, and I'll end it. I have enough conviction now to when a big booty girl pops up on Instagram, I click not interested. I did that for 2 years. So now my whole algorithm is rap, football, basketball. There's no girls on my algorithm.
Hey, teach me how to do that, deadass, because I don't know how to.
Bro. But I did that because of my dad's convictions. And him being in front of me. Him being in front of me.
True words could not have been said.
Dude, just be it, bro.
Like
Stop being a pussy, bro.
I will concede.
For real.
I will concede. Trap and rap, man, it's just not good for you right now. I concede. I don't think you can. Yeah, man. I don't think you. There's no way to spin it. It's just, man, that genre could have a lot of potential, but, yeah, even rhythm and blues was. I mean, even R&B is that was all about sex and multiple women. I remember R. Kelly and all just craziness. Usher and cheating and.
But then the average American is married and they want to have kids. But then you're telling me I need to have 3 girls.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Yeah. It's
You're not good for me, man. You don't care about me because you're talking about that. You don't care about me. That's a whole nother topic. These rappers don't care about us, bro.
I'm gonna show you. You know who Sango is?
No, I don't.
I'm gonna send you some stuff from Sango and Xavier Omar.
Let me know.
I think you would love it. Listen to it in the car when you drive back because you have SoundCloud?
Yeah, I do.
Run it because this. Their whole album, and I'm really curious on what you think. And it's not heavy. Actually, there's some heavy stuff I'll give you.
Yeah.
But I think you'll like it a lot. Armani Graham, thank you so much, man, for joining the show. I
just want to say one thing. What did 50 say in Hated to Love It, the dogs on top? Coming up, I was confused. My mama kissing a girl. That's the truest thing I've ever heard. That's his first bar he said in that song. Coming up, as a man, I was confused. My mama kissing a girl. I think that's what the average person says if they see somebody struggling with their sexuality. He said he was confused because his mom was kissing a girl. That's what 50 said. And 50 is a multi-millionaire.
Bars.
Successful. I'm not going for all this gender stuff, bro. 50 said he was young, vulnerable, and confused because his mama wasn't doing the right thing in front of him. I'm leaving on that, bro.
Welcome to the black and white edition. Armani Graham. Beanie After Dark. We might have to just keep it like this.
Be a man. Love your wife and love your kids. And love your family and treat people right. And take responsibility when you mess up. Be a man. Take the blame. Be a man.
Good night, guys. Good night. Good night. Good night.
That was good, bro.
Oh my gosh,
That was good stuff, bro.
You guys crazy.
Sarah's like, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. I don't know how I'm gonna edit all
I
this
know
shit.
that was a lot. That was a lot.
So I didn't even take notes. She was like,
You know what I think we have to do
No, I
going
was
forward?
annoyed.
We have to, at least me, I get off topic.